Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. For I got a update that I know y'all gonna want to hear about. If you hadn't heard already, girl. So last night I was up late. I've been up for a while. I actually got up very early because I had to, but I was collecting my thoughts. Good morning to the gang stars. Good morning. Everyone's a gang star, but who got here one, two, three first? Baby, Lisa, Attitude and Tylenol. Okay. And Stacy, that first twin. Okay. Good morning. Look at one, two, three first saying hi to each other. Okay. Good morning, guys. Okay, I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. Hey, Beyonce. Hey, boo. Bon, bon, bon. Good morning. Bonjour. 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 Um, and yesterday we had some company over. I didn't want to say it because this internet is so weird. You can't say too much because you just never know what people have in their back of their mind. So, yesterday when I finished the live, we did a Ernest and Sonia call, and I had company coming over. So, boom. And my husband was getting himself together. I had to go get a shower. I put on a quick little two-piece. And Farah just was chilling. She came and ate with us. Um, but she was busy in her room listening to music. You know how teenagers are, talking on the phone, playing her games, and minding her business and letting us just have come. So we had family over. So, but that was nice. Anyway, so in the evening, I had had a glass of wine. I was really kind of sleepy, and I noticed this on Facebook. Let's just get right into it, y'all. Let's just get into it. Okay. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, right? Ma'am, Miss Roxy, girl, the update that you guys wanted to know, does Annette still have the kids? Does she have the foster kids? What's going on over there at Shannon's house? Baby, you know that the girls, Jernell and Kiwana, went over to another YouTuber's channel again this week. I think they've been on the channel. This might be the second time. And ma'am is pissed. Okay. And we're talking about the Naziah Harris case, Jarvis Butts. Yes, this is the what you're not going to see. I mean, this is what's going on, but it does have an effect on the community in the case because people are pissed, right? So Shannon, one of Jarvis Butts' baby mothers, okay. Shannon is Naziah Harris's auntie, okay, the sister of her mom. Shannon had 5 kids back to back with Jarvis, okay? Knowing good and well Jarvis was a PDF and potentially PDFing his own up under that roof and elsewhere, along with just the nasty stuff they were doing. Like he was getting some from Marquita. I don't know that that was consistent, but it was some nasty business going on up under that roof. And Annette's, as the senior elder in the house, just lots of unbelievable, I can't believe that this was going on type situation. According to this woman here on the screen, who is a cousin, okay? Her mother, Kenya, is first cousins with Miss Annette. Annette is the grandmother, okay? If you're confused, slide back, listen to it again. I can't keep repeating it. Annette is Naziah's grandmother. Annette took legal guardianship over Naziah because her mother was not fit and I guess wanted to live her life. The father was married, all kinds of nonsense. She signed over Naziah to the grandmother. The grandmother basically raises kids for a check. And Naziah was in her care and custody when the PDF Jarvis Butts, who was over there knocking him into her daughter Shannon, was introduced to this situation. that ultimately led to her demise, according to Wayne County, which is why Mr. Butts is sitting doing a bid right now for some gun charges, but also has three very serious cases that could leave him in jail for the rest of his life. Okay. So that's where we are. If it doesn't make sense right now, just run it right back. And it's like, oh, okay. That was a lot to pick up. Okay. This Roxy has been, like I said, de facto family spokesperson. Okay. Two other family spokespersons now, Kiwana and Jernell. Jernell is Annette's sister, half sister, but sisters nonetheless, period. Kawana is a niece of Annette. They had been ringing the alarm for a minute. Okay. Is this old? No, baby. Can you let me get to the story? Look at the date. Look at this. 13 hours ago. Okay. So it's relative on what you think is old. Old could be an hour ago on this social media, but I'm telling you what happened last night. Okay. Um and I forgot what I was going to say. Okay. So Roxy was pissed because Kiwana and Jernell, there are people here. Keep in mind, sis, there are people who don't know what we're talking about. So I have to give a little bit of a preview because if I jump right in, I'm going to be answering comments all day about what were you? I don't understand. Who are these people? I'm confusion. All that. Okay. All right. Roxy put up a post last night. People have wanted to know. Roxy is a no apology, boo, at all. We're good. Roxy put up a post basically stating that the kids are gone. She did that like earlier in the week, like they're gone, guys, they're gone. Just to kind of a very like ominous, like random, everybody's gone type comment. I didn't know what I mean, you could assume we knew what she was talking about, but not really, really. Anyway, she says, running your mouth on me, but y'all not running to your niece or little cousins. Haven't you been fighting to get them since 2022? Why won't you take them now? Isn't this the moment you've been waiting for? Don't you know them the best? They're your immediate family, right? Big auntie and big cousin. Go get them and stop with the bullshit. So this is let's let Rocky. Let's let Roxy talk and let's hear what ma'am has to say. Okay. Girl.
Hey y'all, I came on here to talk to y'all because there has been so much that has transpired between when Naziah has been missing.
Let me cut to the chase. She's going to tell everybody that the kids have been removed, but she's going to go round and round. So it's about 10-minute video and then I got something else to show you that happened last night too. Girl. I you know what I mean? Like I I do think she's messy. Um I'm not going to say she's a bad person none at all. I don't know these people. I just think that bringing this, going live, trashing, and just listen. But yes, I agree. I do agree.
To all the way up until today, which is March 7th, 2025, the day of the calendar conference of Jarvis Butts and all of his charges. Okay. I really want to come and talk to y'all and tell y'all that y'all need to start paying attention to what Janelle and Kiwana is putting out. Okay.
Let me just say this. She's very much bothered by Jernell and Kiwana. I don't even get it. Like, I get it, but Jernell and Kiwana come with a little bit more maturity and they don't sit up there and point fingers. They really just kind of talk about themselves and what has transpired and their observations and maybe recently more defending themselves regarding allegations against them, but the difference with Roxy is Roxy drops video after video just pointing the damn finger and you never really hear you know, like, well, I did this and I did that and da, 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 da. It's a different vibe. And I don't have a preference on anyone. I'm just saying what I notice as a difference. Um, I just think it definitely the whole thing is messy, make no mistake. Because at this point, Kiwana and Janelle need to just leave it alone. I think they have established that they are the adults in the room. However, they need to understand that it is equally messy. You know what I'm saying? Even though they are more of the adults, the mature folk of, and I'm not just talking about age, just in terms of the delivery, it's still extremely messy. Okay. Well, Stacey, let's see what's going to happen, because allegedly, according to Roxy, the kids have been removed. So we're going to listen to this, and then there was another situation last night where she basically says it outright, and I don't know that happened, but when they come remove your kids, girl, there's obviously clearly investigations to support they don't need to be there, and all of that. So let me just let this rip.
Okay. They're trying to be funny, putting out all of this information that don't have anything to do with Naziah. Okay. Putting out information that they thought was going to be embarrassing, putting out information about me. They're talking about me. They're talking about my mama. They're talking about what they've been doing and all this other stuff like that, right? All of these things that don't have anything to do with Naziah. Okay. I don't think I've heard them say very much about her, but they have a whole lot to say about me every single time, right? And what I'm doing. Because they have been trying to stop me from spreading awareness, because they have been trying to stop me from talking about Naziah, because they are the ones who are included in sweeping everything that has happened up with Naziah underneath the rug. And I really don't want to do the tit for tat thing, but y'all got to be educated, okay? Because there's so many people coming at me sideways about what I'm doing for the better, for the greater good and the better cause and the direction that I'm trying to move in to help other young girls, and how I have been helping other young girls and young and women. Okay, pay attention to what they are saying in these interviews that they have done. The one they did on the interview with the on YouTube with the community ladies, the ones they did with Ratchet TV, not the ones they did with this spiritual detective, Isis, whatever the heck her name is. Okay. They had time to sit down and do interviews and podcasts, 5-hour podcasts and interviews with 2-3 hours to sit up there and spread mess that ain't got nothing to do with Naziah and say everything negative that they can about me and try and do the we are for justice for Naziah. But you really wasn't. Ain't showing up to no court dates except for the arraignment, which is when he first got arrested. That was the only court date they showed up to. They didn't show up to any other court dates. Pay attention. Pay attention to what they doing and telling y'all and what they saying. Because it's like it's a competition of flower. They want flowers or a pat on the back. Guess what? You can have it. I don't want no flowers.
Let me just say this real quick. I'm just wondering at this point, where's the mom? Where is Kenyatta? I mean, I get that she gave up custody. I don't know if she's in Detroit or not, but is she there? Isn't she clean and sober now? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she is or not. I mean, she looked like she's not in awesome health at the day of remembrance on her birthday when they did the balloon release, but where is she even, like, where is she? But I mean, not that she's someone to factor in about taking the kids, but it's like where's mom?
I don't want no flowers. I don't want no acknowledgement. I want awareness. I want change. I want new laws, new procedures, new protocols. That's what I want. I don't want flowers or acknowledgement. This isn't a competition. This isn't high school. Okay? Pay attention to what they're doing and saying. We did this, we did that. You sure did. You sure did. But you're talking about all of these things that you have been doing since 2022, right? All of these things that you have been knowing. But one thing that I'm trying to understand is why, when CPS called you, because the kids are gone, Shannon kids are gone, they're in the system. Marquita's kids are gone, they're with her dad. Annette's foster kids are gone, they're back in the system. Annette's license, gone. Thank God.
So obviously something is up. If they came through, if what she's saying is true, and I'm not saying it's not, but I don't have any way to verify it. If what she is saying is true and accurate, clearly the investigations have turned to a different direction. And also just the fact of having Jarvis in the house is problematic. Also interviewing the kids. If the kids drop that mother load, there's two other cases, one of which is his daughter. I mean, if this is accurate, then this is obviously, you never know, handcuffs could be coming. So they remove kids, they place them different places, they're scattering them around, providing safe harbor, relieving you of your parental duties. If you are a certified licensed foster person and they strip you of your kids, they take your ability to be able to foster children, like that is that they see that something is wrong, right? Maybe also could be lying. It could be lying about having Jarvis in the midst of the home, and what was potentially going on. I mean, those text messages were enough to know that something was going on up under Annette's roof that was obviously illegal and wrong, right? The waiting 24 hours to report a child missing is big red flag as to just incompetence of, as far as just caring and having a heart as a parental figure, much less a grandmother and a legal guardian, right? So anyway, okay, let's keep going.
God.
Let me run it back just a little bit, just in case.
We did this, we did that. You sure did.
But not just, she's mad at Kiwana and Janelle, at Kiwana, excuse me. She is mad. That interview from the other night, baby, she's pissed.
You sure did. But you're talking about all of these things that you have been doing since 2022, right? All of these things that you have been knowing. But one thing that I'm trying to understand is why, when CPS called you, because the kids are gone, Shannon kids are gone, they're in the system. Marquita's kids are gone, they're with her dad. Annette's foster kids are gone, they're back in the system. Annette's license, gone. Thank God. Thank God. But my thing is, when Kiwana and Janelle were called to get the kids so that they didn't go into foster care, Janelle and Kiwana declined to get the kids. Let me say it one more time. Janelle and Kiwana, Naziah Harris, immediate family members, great aunt and first cousin, declined to get the foster kids that CPS called them and asked them to get. They declined it 4 times and said that the reason that they declined was for personal reasons. Not because, they didn't have space. Not because, can you provide me with housing or bigger housing so that I can have enough room for them? No, for personal reasons. What could be the personal reason? Because the kids are traumatized and they've been enough. So you rather them go into a system with people who they don't know rather than their family, since you have been trying to get them out of the house since 2022? So why were you so-called pushing to get the kids out of the house in 2022, but now that it's March 7th, 2025, and CPS called you 2 weeks ago to get the kids out of the house, you declined for personal reasons? But you were trying to get the kids out the house before, and now that the kids are out of the house, you don't want them. Why don't you want the kids that you've been fighting for to get out of the house since 2022? Jarvis is now locked up. So why don't you want the kids? What are the personal reasons? Because you've been trying to get the kids, right? You've been trying to get custody of the kids, but now that that opportunity is here, you won't take it because you're too busy trying to block me and what I'm doing. CPS hasn't reached out to me, I guess because I'm too far down the family tree. So you rather the kids go stay in a system where they're going to get split up and not have any contact with each other, with their other little cousins that they've been growing up with all of this time because of your personal reasons. Why? You don't want the kids around your kids because you don't want it to happen to them? Do they have too much trauma that you don't want to deal with? Is it too much for you to deal with now because you've been fighting so hard for it? What happened? Why you don't want the kids? What happened? Why you decline to take the kids? So when I tell y'all, pay attention to what they saying because they out here fooling y'all and they're trying to shut me up and stop me from what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do. They worried about flowers. I'm worried about awareness. They're worried about recognition.
So you're saying that Janelle and Kiwana were in the chat. So when she was live last night with Mark and everybody else, is that what you're saying? Are still and said the kids are still there. And CPS never contacted them. Okay, I'm gonna have to look in the chat because I did. Well, I'm sure the chat's still on here. It's still posted. We're gonna go over to it. If you remember where in the live, because sometimes I'm not reading the chat. I was screen recording just in case it went away, but I didn't read the chat. I was listening to the dialogue. And then it was definitely, if you're talking about the live from last night on the kind of, look, I'm gonna just say it, trauma bonding situation. Because there were a lot of people who have had horrible situations. But it was definitely there were a few people who called in who had some horrific stories about their childhood, specifically two towards the end. So we're not gonna listen to that. Okay, well let's get back to this. It's like 3 more minutes and then we'll get over to that. Okay.
I'm worried about victims. But you're trying to start organizations, but you won't get your little
Patty, tell me, were they, can you hit the link and tell us what happened? Were they over there on Roxy's chat or were they back over to the YouTube channel that they were at the night before last? Can you let me know or just type it something? Okay.
little cousins that show immediate family. Y'all signing paperwork for everything else, but not signing no paperwork to get them kids that y'all been trying to get out the house since 2022. Pay attention to what they doing, y'all, and what they saying. It ain't matching up.
So if Kiwana and Janelle are saying the kids are still with Annette, it's kind of like, Roxy, what are you talking about? Because like I said, we have no way to verify this. It's just on who you believe. Roxy is saying the kids are gone. Now, let's just let her finish because there is going to be the baby daddy of Marquita's daughter, I think. One of her kids, baby daddy, is going to call in. The guy Debo, who says that it was his daughter who actually testified at the preliminary hearing. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of hard to read because, like I said, I feel like Janelle and Kiwana come off as more credible, Roxy definitely gets very salty, but it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, why come on here and lie? That's weird, right?
Because if anything, they should have been the first two to get them kids, and they declined 4 times to get those children. And they had the opportunity, and they declined it for personal reasons. So pay attention.
I mean, look, I can't defend something I don't know 100%, but I'm going to say this. They did what they could do, which was alerting CPS. Now, that's a personal decision, taking a bunch of children. I don't know what Jernell's situation is as far as her household, how it's set up. The worst thing you can do is have children who are displaced be further displaced if you don't have the bandwidth and capacity to actually take care of them. And I'm certainly not making her any excuses. I don't know her. But what I'm going to say is, if that's actually true, it's not even like a bed situation or a feeding situation. It is, if you have 3, 4, 5 kids, all of a sudden you got 10 kids. All of a sudden you got all kinds of, I don't know. I would think that, to me, if all of a sudden I got a phone call like that as a family member and it was 5 kids and from the off the chain side of the family, there would have to be some very strict stipulations as to how this thing would be handled. And I would need a minute to just, I'm a type of person, I got to make a decision and I have to think about it. Even if it's just 10 minutes, I don't want to just, I got to think about what my, cars, support, how we're going to handle it. There, a lot of people make knee jerk reactions and are not in a capacity to do what they say. Now, to her point, Roxy, she's like, well, y'all been trying to get them since 2022. Now's your time. Aren't you ready? Oh, in her chat last night, I didn't have a chance to watch her video. I didn't have a chance to watch her video. Can you okay, we'll do that later. I don't want to do that right now cuz I haven't watched the video and I don't want to just bring up her video and not know what I'm even looking for. Um if she was talking about this last night, okay. So we're going to just keep moving forward. We'll find I'll go through there and see what they were saying. But I'm going to play the video from Facebook. Let's see. And it has to be approved. Yeah, I mean, that's a big decision. And I would definitely take kids. Like, I would take my nieces and nephews, no problem. But I would need to make sure, like, I would just need like 5 minutes. Can I call you back in 5 minutes? Like, it's not a no, but just give me a second to breathe and make some arrangements, because that's a lot. That's a lot. And then you got, I don't even know, uh like, just think about Shannon and Annette and what these kids have been through. That's a lot. Is That's definitely for someone who maybe doesn't have a full-time job. You got another spouse who works outside the home and you have nothing but time to devote to mothering and caregiving to children that are in desperate need of attention and a positive role model. It's a lot. um Ooh, okay.
Because they want to put out information about everybody else, i.e., me and my mother.
I know. I understand what you meant, but I'm not. I get you. I get you.
But y'all not going over there to get them kids because they don't want to deal with them and their trauma that they're going through and what they've been exposed to. Which is why we are in a position that we are in today, which is why Naziah is missing. Because they talking and saying that they doing A, B, C, D, and E, but really when it get down to the nitty gritty of it, they're declining.
I just want to know how she knows all of this. Who told you? Who told you that?
but got time to do everything else. You got time to be on podcasts to talk mess, but you ain't have no time to do interviews about Naziah when she first came up missing. You got interviews to talk about me and what I was doing and where I was at and bring up my mama and everything else and my sexuality and everything else for 5 hours and 3 hours and 2 hours, but you didn't have any time to spread awareness about Naziah when she went missing or what was happening to her. When you knew. Like going to birthday parties that you went to, that you knew Jarvis was going to be at, but you didn't take your kids at the birthday party, but you went to the birthday party anyway, where another child was assaulted at, where you were present. Pay attention, y'all. Pay attention to these two.
I just want to know where the receipts are. Like I said, I said that actually in the open, like Jernell and Kawana, it's just different. It's just different. But I make no mistake, the whole situation is extremely messy. But it's like, Roxy, where are the receipts? Like, how do you know that everybody was removed? But we're gonna play this other video, okay? Just a second.
Because they ain't who they say they are or what they doing. Go get the kids. They're waiting for you.
Okay, so girl, hold on. So right after she posts that, she goes live. Hold on. Did she make a bunch of okay. Okay,
Express your insight or how you feel.
So I'm gonna start it from the beginning a little bit, but we're not gonna watch the whole thing. Okay, so she, girl, I don't know what that was. Okay, let's just get to the part. She's walking through the basement. The dog ate her food. It's a big mess. Let's see. I guess these are all the people that went live with her last night. Mark showed up. Debo showed up. I think he's one of Marquita's baby daddies. And then these other people showed up to give their personal testimony about how they felt, their opinion, or they'd been in, foster care situation at some point. Let me set this up. Real-time comments. Okay.
Girl, we ain't worried about no panel. Get to. I am trying to find effort you gonna get. You gonna get to why you talk to us here first. Okay, so do y'all have TikTok? Girl, we ain't worried about no panel. Get to why you or your mammy didn't make any efforts besides clout chasing. You know what effort you gonna get? You gonna get the block.
I'm gonna make it bigger, so give me just a second.
Huh? How about that?
This is it's like a spectacle now. Okay. All right, that's better. Hold on.
Right. Let me go. Look, y'all know my fan, bro. You know I'll be fanning them up out of here. You know I'll be fanning them up out of here. The hell? Okay, wait. Okay, so can I bring people? I thought you can bring people on here. I ain't been on here in a minute. I don't forget. Yes, you can, but I don't know how many at a time.
All right.
Okay, let me play with it.
In a whole different perspective, because at the end of the day,
and I thank you for
fighting. Keep doing what you fighting. Keep doing what you was doing, and you doing the weird thing.
Up to
all right, look, let me just say this. I'll drop the link if you want to go watch it uninterrupted, all of that. If you're on Facebook, I'm sure you probably already know where it is. This is the deal. So we're going to listen to Debo's part, and we're going to listen to, so she starts off the live and says, we're going to have a controversial conversation. If you had a situation where you got called for kids that you know that were in distress, could you take these kids, blah, blah, blah. We already know that she starts off having like these quote unquote conversations to low key talk about the people in her family. We've peeped this already, right? So this is no different. This is just another instance of her doing that. And then so Debo calls in. Debo is one of the guys. He went live after the child who testified. When, if you watch the preliminary hearing, there was a certain point where it went to commercials or whatever, because they had a couple of minors interviewing. One of those were one of his kids. Okay. So that's who is talking now. Okay. Well, this is what comes up later in the conversation, is that she says she didn't know that she can, I guess, call and find out. Like she can, I don't know. I don't know how the foster system works. She says she doesn't know either. But this is my thing, not because she has kids, but girl, where are your kids? We never hear your kids. Do you live with them actually? Like, where are your children? That's what I want to know. You know what I mean? When you watch people who have kids, you hear the kids, or you hear a sidebar okay, go get some cereal or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know that there's other souls in the house, right? Like Roxy, what, you got a lot of time to point fingers. That's the one thing I'm just going to say, just as a busy mom of one. You got a lot of time. Where are your kids? Are your kids in Texas? Not to say she doesn't need to drop me a location, because it's not like that. I'm just saying, what you got going on, sis? That's what I want to know. Okay.
And,
What you doing over there, man?
well, we having
Everybody
this
sounds
this
high.
this conversation about the kids being taken, and some people are saying that they would take the kids, and a lot of people were saying that they wouldn't take the kids. So we were discussing their perspectives as to why they feel the way they feel, if they would or wouldn't take the kids. So would you like to um express your insight or how you feel, since you actually have uh the kids?
See, in my
You kind of
perspective of things,
muffled a little bit.
Didn't she say that Marquita's kids were with Marquita's father, or did she mean to say Marquita's baby father?
hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you better.
Whoever's asking about Roxy and her kids, baby, I cannot even tell you. I don't know anything about this woman. I don't know how many kids she has, what kids she doesn't have. Um, it's a mystery. I've never seen or heard her. You look on her Facebook, you don't see any kids. I don't know if she has kids or not. Um, Me personally, I would be concerned, even though Shannon is, she's in theory a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? She's a POS mother. Okay. I would be concerned that someone who doesn't like me gets on the internet, talks about what me and my mom got going on, even though she may be a piece of shit too. I don't know that that's who I would want my kids to be with, but I don't make the decisions. You know what I'm saying? Um, I don't know.
All right, so it's like at the end of the day, man, the kids need to be in somebody care that's gonna actually get them help.
Yeah.
It's about them being traumatized to things that they should never been traumatized to.
Hmm.
And on top of that, it's like you have so many people say they would, and you have so many people say they wouldn't, but ain't nobody stepped up and tried to do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody. So it's like people just want to have content, or people just want to have something to say, just to have a voice and
Hmm.
something. Like, I got her son because I feel like he shouldn't be and nobody care.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be away from his sister, because at the end of the day, they both traumatized with something that can nobody fix. But
Now the son is the one. If you remember the night that Mark went live over with Roxy over at Marquita's apartment, Marquita and her boyfriend, where Shannon was hiding out, quote unquote. Um, they said the boy wasn't going to school. The boy had bought some sort of weapon. The principal didn't report it. You remember all that? If you didn't watch it, go to the playlist. But that live stream where Mark went in with his rifle or whatever semi-automatic gun, and there was controversy over that, and then they had to go down to Detroit police, and a day or two later they both put out statements that they're not dealing with each other anymore, Roxy and Mark. But Marquita and Shannon were on the live, answering some questions, but it was definitely a window it was a sneak peek into the window of the house, basically to see like, y'all up late, it's a Sunday night, these kids need to be going, or whatever night it was a school night, and these kids need to be sleeping. It's puff puff pass smoke all up in the house, and you got kids. The boyfriend is over there talking about the boy doing bad in school. So if that's Debo's son, I mean, obviously, you need to go pick up your kid. Like, that should go without saying. Now, where so the son and the daughter, I guess, are with him allegedly. We don't know what's going on here.
God and a lot of help.
Yeah.
A lot of help. So it's like, if motherfuckers really not gonna stand out and really help these kids or really try to help these kids, then I feel like they just need to sit back and watch and see how these kids get taken care of in the right hands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the right hands, because at the end of the day, it's like, right now, it's just voice.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's just people that want to have something to say and have words. It's not people that really care.
Yeah.
It's not people that really stand out and really care and have genuine love, regardless on the hate or whatever they got for the mom or the aunties or the grandma. Because at the end of the day, the kids didn't ask to be in this position.
Mm-hmm.
The kids didn't ask to experience the things that they experienced or seen, but they can't tell because it's like, basically, it's like a fucking clock, bro. Like Vegas. What happened in Vegas, stay in Vegas. So what happened in the Harris house, stay in the Harris house. You know what I'm saying? That's what these kids were trained. It ain't that they scared to do it. It ain't that they don't want to do it. This is what they trained to do. This is what they was registering their brain to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, people that's gonna really stand out and have genuine help, man, and really bless these kids. That's what they need. They don't need nobody voice that ain't really gonna be there. They don't need nobody attention that really don't care, because they need the love and the support that can nobody give them but shit, God and somebody that really genuinely care. That's simple.
So do you know, do you know if it's anyone, do you have to have like a license, or can family
right now they giving it right now they're trying to find family members, because that's their best thing. They want to move family members first. Now if they don't got family members, and then when they go to court, that's when they put them in foster care. You know what I'm saying?
So any family member?
Any family member that you can reach out to the CPS, Miss Jackson or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And tell them that you trying to get custody of the kids until they go to court, whatever it's gonna be.
Okay.
But when they go to court, that's when they.
Girl, I'm sorry to say this, but it's the eating. It's the eating the orange slice. It's just the constant eating. She would have been eating her bowl had the dog not ate it. And then pick it. It's girl. It's a lot. Let me ask this question on a more serious note. If you've been inquiring about these kids, CPS needs to pick them up. CPS needs to pick them up. How do you like? You're questioning how Jernell and Kiwana haven't picked up the kids allegedly, if they're even in the state custody. But how do you not know, since you know so much? I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you know so much, how do you not know? Or why is it that you have not inquired? If you're going to get on live stream and not even have called to say, excuse me, my very young cousins were taken into custody for what I understand, and I would like to know about being considered to put them in my care and custody. Can you let me know what I need to do? How can I qualify, or how I can keep in contact with them? Like, I don't want to lose them in the system type thing. Like, so now Debo's telling her to call Miss Jackson at CPS. Okay. But just like she can say Kiwana and Janelle turned it down with no receipts, we don't even know what's the truth right now.
And that's when they're doing a petition to get them taken from their mom. You know what I'm saying? That's when they go into foster care. When they go to court. Right now they just temporarily taking it from their mom, and it's like only person who can make a decision is the judge.
Right. And you said that with Kiwana and Janelle, they offered them to get them, but they didn't want to get them.
And that's what I heard. Yes.
Mm.
So,
well, I guess we'll see. I guess we will see. So I'm gonna make a few phone calls within the family and see if we can get them to stay, within the family and see what I can do. You know what I'm saying? And maybe we can take it from there so that all of them can still be together and they're not in that environment. You know what I'm saying?
That's all they need because they don't need to be split up.
Yeah. So well, I might have a football team, y'all. Here in a minute. I might have a football team. Got it.
Girl, the main reason, and I'm just gonna say it, look, the main reason why she doesn't need to have those kids is because she will have them kids all up on the camera constantly, how she can do what she does better. Oh, look, this is so and so. This is, girl, they would have to make her sign some sort of social media policy that you're gonna have to get your ass up off social media, and we'll see what decision she makes. How about that? Just as an outsider looking in, I would be curious to know if she would be willing to give up her social media to actually care for these kids or not even give it up completely, but give up the fact that you can't have them on there. Like, they need their privacy. We don't need to see them eating breakfast or how you can drop them off at school better or you make better ponytails or anything like that. Like, it would really just be on some actual caring for children and not trying to exploit them for your social media.
Oh,
no, man, justice for desire, man. So, love and peace, my baby. I mean, I'm about to get ready. I'll get drunk.
All right, look, call me. Let me know, cause I need a drink.
All right, all right.
Alrighty, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna pivot. Well, let's let her talk a little bit.
I might have to go get the football team, y'all. I might have to get the football team.
I'm sorry, with all of the ruckus that she has been. That's what I heard. She has no receipts. How I would have to question her mental fitness if she's out here doing a live stream, um, saying that the kids, like, speaking on actual minors, and you don't even have your facts straight. That's crazy. Like, it really is crazy. So, according to the adults in the room, Janelle and Kiwana, and it's funny, my sister-in-law's name is Joanna. They say that they're not even in CPS custody. Like, do we know if Marquita's baby daddy is full of shit? Because how is this man calling in saying he's got his son from Marquita? I mean, what's really going on here? I don't understand. Okay, let's see what she says. We're gonna
the football team. I thought that they had to come to you. I assumed they were
So she's thinking CPS makes a selection process that they had to come to her. This is her understanding of CPS.
Starting with immediate family, you know what I'm saying, or next of kin, or something like that, or what have you. So I was unaware that it could be anybody, but I'm gonna go get the football team, y'all. I'm gonna go get the football.
I'm sorry, those kids. This is just my opinion. You guys state yours, or I'll drop the link so you guys can state yours too. At the end of the day, those kids need rich auntie from out of town who is not into this bullshit and who can really devote some time, like Auntie, who is semi-retired, who has time to be, because you got an adolescent, you got one that's almost 13, Janiyah, you got down to a baby. So you got multi-age ranges, and the needs of a preteen is going to be different. The baby doesn't even know Jarvis. Jarvis been gone for damn a year now. Okay. Jarvis turned himself in February last year. He's been gone. So the 2-year-old doesn't even know that man. The other year old, the little one, the other toddler, um, that's, you know what I'm saying, they may not be as damaged as the ones who have been exposed to more mess and seen things or experienced things that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? They really need someone who can dedicate and devote time, isn't just trying to get a check from the state, and someone who can really love on them in the event that Shannon is not a viable option to take care of her kids moving to the future. Because I think that is, they needed someone who could be committed and someone who is not trying to use them on social media. All I see, and I'm just saying, I just see Roxy as a type to prop these kids up and have them all on Front Street, trying to interview them, trying to make them tell their story. You know what I mean? She does not mind talking about family. She's very inappropriate. I don't see her. Where, just like I said, where, sis, where are your kids?
Or at least try. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's definitely not going to be an easy task, but I mean, they know. I know they know who I am. You know what I'm saying? They know who I am by now. I know they be watching me. You know what I'm.
It's the slurping of the snots. I know they know who I am. I know they be watching me. What rational adult, and okay, let's minus Annette and Shannon out of that, is sitting watching someone talk about them on the internet? You got to be out of your mind. Those kids need to be in their books. They need to be at sports. They need to be busy. They got lots to do during the day. They come home, get a meal, get a bath, and go to bed and do it all over again. And nobody watching you on social media with your grown behind.
I'm saying they be on my social media. I know that for sure. So I know
Girl,
they know who I
bye.
am. Probably not so much the baby, you know, because he's, I think, 2. I think
Roxy sounds dumb right now. The fact that she's like, I know they know who. Sis, they don't know you. You are a grown cousin, and that's fine. My cousin's kids may not know me, but that doesn't make me not relevant. But I'm not going to sit here and say, I know they're watching my social media. Damn it. That sounds stupid. That's so slow.
the baby is 2.
Girl, a 2-year-old forgot about his foot 10 minutes later. 2-year-olds are they're on a whole nother level of consciousness.
But we'll see. I'll make some phone calls and see. But anywho, back to the topic at hand. Anyone else?
She's very arrogant. I'm just gonna say that. She comes across as very arrogant, and that's the main thing I see, is like it's just an arrogance about her. But again, where are the receipts?
Oh, is it only Shannon's good? If you was in contact with them, you would have known that. All right. Well, guess what you about to know? That you're about to get blocked.
So it's crazy how much she looks like her mother. Kenya and Roxy do look a lot alike. But somebody asked a question. She got mad. Let's listen to it again.
Topic at hand. Anyone else? So is it only Shannon's good? If you was in contact with them, you would have known that. All right. Well, guess what you about to know? That you're about to get blocked.
So I guess someone's calling her out for not knowing exactly what she's talking about. So she got mad. She's blocking them.
And Kira Smith's from Stream back You're banned. No, 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 no. Gotta fan you out of here. Fan you out of here. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're out of here.
She's
Yeah, that was new news to
strange.
me. Any what's the name? So we will see. We will see. Look, y'all gonna support then, huh? With the football team, y'all gonna support with the football team. You know, them a lot of cheering. Them a lot of cheering. Them a lot of cheering. Y'all gonna support then, huh? Who was it? Black Card too. Who? Haven.
It's very weird. It's very kind of like, ew. Do you know how hard it is to take
There was no trial.
care of girl? I can only
The
imagine.
trial will be.
I've seen, so let me tell you what I know. I've seen those documentaries. So once upon a time, there were a lot of Caucasian people going to like Russia because they wanted white babies, and or they would go to China, but specifically these Russian babies, to where Russia has put a bar on specifically Americans coming to get their babies for adoption. There's been a lot of babies in orphanages, right? And some of these kids have been severely abused, and they get here to the United States, and people are rehoming people off the grid, like literally. Yeah, I can't take care of them, I'm just going to rehome them. So because these kids are entering the country, they're babies, they may not have all of their paperwork. We've lost track of children who have been brought to the United States um for adoption with from another country. People get them, they rehome them. There was a YouTube family that got a kid from China. Maybe they had 2 or 3 kids. They were really popular. The mom had like a million, the dad. This is like maybe 5, 6 years ago. She ended up on like the cover of People magazine. She ended up, his name was his name like Huxley or something. They ended up rehoming the boy off the grid. He was not school age, or maybe they were homeschoolers. Maybe they went through some sort of network, rehomed him, and people were asking on the channel, what happened to Huxley? What happened to Huxley? Because she got pregnant, and I guess they wanted to just have those 4 kids. They rehomed the boy. Like, there's people out here doing weird shit with kids, going to pick up kids in foreign countries, bringing them here. The kids have profound disabilities or needs, or have been in very traumatic situations. They get over here and they don't know what to do with the child. All they wanted like a white Asian baby or whatever. They get the kid is autistic severely. They weren't prepared for that. Or the kid is has behavioral issues, or you got a kid who has suffered some sort of sexual trauma, and these people are not capable to provide the services or the love and attention, and they end up falling flat-footed. The kids end up getting sent back to their home country, back to the orphanage, like another trauma on them because they could not assimilate to, like, there's a lot of weird shit that happens with these children. And I'm like, that's just one component of the foreign adoption situation. I can't even imagine what's going on here in the United States when they drop off kids. I had a friend who was a foster parent for some years. Someone I knew from online. We were friendly. And she told me some stories about people that she knew who were fellow adoption or fellow foster people. And you could get a kid to the house and the vibe is just off, and they're calling the social worker like, okay, so and so sitting in the living room, I want you to come pick them up right away. Like, they bring a kid, the kid gets introduced to the house, the kid has their clothes and personal items, and then there are people who get a kid in the house and they're rejected by other kids, or they feel some type of way. And then so these kids go through a lot. They go through a lot, or you have someone who gets dropped off and then like there's a lot going on. Every story I'm sure is not a nightmare story, but to me, you have to be very intentional. These are little human beings that need a lot of love, grace, and understanding because they've been exposed to things beyond their choice, or they have issues that the parents have chosen to ignore to the point where they had to be removed. Like it's really sad. It's really sad. And I don't think anyone should take that type of decision lightly. The fact that she's on here with such arrogance about the process of caring for children who are in need because of trauma it's really disheartening. It's like Roxy doesn't do anything to make people like her. Like, not to say she should be doing a song or dance or anything to make people like her, but she's not likable. And again, from the first video we saw with Community Advocate, Jernell and Kiwana came through with information that made sense. Roxy says things and you're like, well, where'd she get that from? Where'd that come from? You know, like it's just weird that she speaks on things and we don't even know, it doesn't even sound credible because we need a receipt. Roxy is the type we need a receipt. Jernell and Kiwana, when they speak, it just sounds accurate. So people are less likely to ask for a receipt because you are more of someone that people can actually trust your word. It's weird. This woman, when she talks, I'm questioning everything. Anyway, let's keep going.
After October 6th. We're not talking about the trial. We're talking about if you would take in, would you or would you not take in kids who have been exposed to what everybody else has been exposed. I mean, with these kids and what they have been exposed to, would you take them in or would you not? If you want to come up and talk, I got some things right here. Here we go.
Okay.
Able to
someone is
take them in or Chandra.
When I was in the time when I can't understand.
All right, we're gonna pass up this. If you want to watch the whole thing, I will give you all the link. I just want to get to the part where Mark shows up. This was very awkward. This was a very awkward moment. It's giving sad. I don't know if these two are talking behind the scenes or not. I don't know if they literally have broke friendship or what, but it's weird that he says he doesn't know what was going on and he's asking her for an update. How are you? Look, I'm just going to say you're in Detroit. You've been following this case for over a year. Sir definitely wants his credit too for everybody only knowing about this story because of him, right? But you weren't at the courthouse. You weren't online. You weren't calling the judge's office. Like, you don't know what's going on to provide your audience an update. Are you just done with it? Like, that's weird to me as a blogger. Like, I have a whole dry erase board with things that I'm following and a damn spreadsheet to know, okay, even if I'm not on it that day, I need to check on it that week. They may have had court, something could have been filed. You got your note. Like, how are you, Mr. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what's really going on. It's weird. Hi, buttons all day. Hey, boo. Good morning, everybody. Make sure to tap in, guys. I haven't even checked the monitor, but I'm just hoping that if you're enjoying this, you're getting some information, all of these things, please make sure to tap on the thumbs up because that helps your girl. You found me some type of way, right? You found me because someone hit a like button or subscribed to my channel and you got maybe a recommendation or I showed up in your searches. And that's how that's going to happen. If you hit the thumbs up, YouTube will recommend me to someone who is looking for something like this. And I appreciate you doing that. It's definitely a free way to support this type of content if that's what you enjoy. Yeah. I feel you on that. Okay, let's hear what what's going on here.
I hope I didn't remove her out.
So she was talking to somebody else, baby, and Mark was just waiting his turn so he could get in there and talk to Boo.
What up, though, Mr. Mark?
What's the word, my baby? Been all right?
You know, same old shit, different toilet, different day, different hoe. You know what I'm saying?
Same shit, different toilet, different hoe. Like, Roxy, we gonna need you to be more like, what's going on here? It's the mouth for me. And trust me, I cuss, but it's the vulgarity of the cussation is pretty nasty.
I hope I didn't remove her out. What up,
You
though, Mr.
did.
Mark?
What's the word, my baby? Been all right?
You know, same old shit, different toilet, different day, different hoe. You know what I'm saying?
My
Disgusting.
word. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't see anything about anything that happened today. I was busy. Just so happened to seeing you live, and like, yeah, let's join.
I mean, Mark, by 12 or 1 o'clock, CBS had already posted their update. You didn't see that? So you didn't see anything. You are the baddest blogger in town. Okay? You're up on everything. I'm just curious, like, why you don't. You say this is such an important story. This has had such an impact on you, but there was court today with nothing really pivotal. I don't want to say nothing pivotal happened. Obviously, they scheduled the trial. Um, but why would you not have your alert set? I mean, cases are, so they say, cases are won and lost in pretrial. So pretrial, contrary to what people think, is very important time with motions and all of the decisions that are made going into the trial phase. This is part of the trial phase. This is pretrial. Pretrial is actually really important.
Want to join the chat. So what exactly is being discussed tonight?
So what's being discussed tonight as, the kids are no longer in any of the adults' custody, i.e. Shannon, Marquita, and Annette.
Who told you? Who told you that? That's what I want to know. Where is the receipt? Who did you talk to? Who gave you that information? That's what I want to know.
So the discussion was, some people were saying, because I made my post about Janelle and Kiwana, about them not, receiving phone calls from CPS and CPS asking them to get the children, and they declined to get the children for their own personal reasons. So when I made the post, people were saying, well, they can probably understand why. So the topic of tonight is, if you were in this position, would you or would you not take the kids in, knowing, what they have experienced up until this point? Would you or would you not take the kids?
My family, yeah. If they weren't my family, probably not. I think it would be just that simple for me. But yeah, if it was kids in my family that went through that, then yeah, I most definitely would do what I could to take them in and keep them, as I heard y'all say, keep them together, right? Keep them with family, because we know how the system is, and being placed with some of these foster parents that just do it for the career side of it, just for the money, just for the benefit.
Just say what it is. They do it for the check. They do it for the check. There are people out here who, yes, a business component, but at the end of the day, I'm sorry, when I first got introduced to this case and I was sitting there listening to Kiwana, because that's really who I heard first. I guess I heard some stuff from Roxy initially, and then the Kiwana and Janelle interview over on Community Advocate. It was obvious that Annette was on some check. She's on some check collecting for these kids. Head count, checks. If you're not bringing revenue into the house, baby, you're not there. She seemed like the type, unless you are contributing, your mama's paying for your stay, baby, you got to go. Every bed is accounted for.
Yeah, that's without even thinking too deeply about it. Yeah, I would say I would step in and do what I could for my family members.
Awesome. 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 Well, thanks for your word, brother. You been all right?
Yeah, you know it. You know it. Slow motion, better than no motion. And got a lot of things on the horizon, as you know. And yeah, just keeping my head to the pavement. You know.
I'm just going to give my opinion. I'm not sure what happened with these two, but it seems like he's off his square since he and Roxy split. Like the podcasting isn't happening as much. I guess maybe he has other things going on. You know what I mean? I don't want to even begin to try to figure out what this man has going on. It just seems like he's a little off his square. I'm gonna say it like that. In the past month since that whole thing went down, it's been awkward. It hasn't been the same flow of content that it was previously. I'm not sure what's going on.
Same here. Same here. Boots on the
So
ground.
what actually happened today? Was there what was it today? Was there anything today?
It was just them setting a date for the trial. For the jury selection, not for the trial. The date.
So what Rox doesn't understand is trial starts with jury selection. So that is the trial. You start, so trial period or the trial date that's set, the first order of business to get to trial is the jury. So it's not just, oh, they're selecting a jury. That is the beginning of the trial. That's the beginning. And they go through that period that's called voir dire. So they select a jury, then they actually go through something called voir dire, is when they sit and they question the jury. So they could have 100, they could have 1,000 people come through, which is a big number, but let's just say let's say they have 200 people come through, they select 50 and they seat 12 or 18 to actually be the jury. So they do the jury selection, then they whittle down the jury by asking them questions like, have you ever did this? Have you ever did that? How do you feel about this, that, and the third? Could you be fair and impartial? Blah, blah, blah. They go through all of the people. And then from that, you have the jury, and the jury is seated. The next day, you may even have that afternoon, they will do opening statements. It's immediately. So that is the start of the trial with the jury selection. So she may or may not know that, but that's what it is.
Date for the trial has not been set yet. Just the jury selection.
The trial opening statement starts as soon as the jury is seated,
which will be October 6th. That's really the only important date that needs to be known.
Well, that's not true. So there's a calendar conference in June, right? It is important because they could file motions to suppress evidence. They could file, I'm going to throw something out. They could file a motion to suppress the text messages. They could file a motion to suppress the Ring cameras. They can file motions out the wazoo, and they can try to have things thrown out. They can try to have evidence questioned, just like we've seen if you're following the Ernest Williams case. Like they want all of the evidence procured from the vehicle search thrown out. They're calling it fruit of the poisonous tree, blah, blah, blah. This was illegal search, this, that, and the other thing. So pre-trial is very important. So it's not you just get to the trial and we start seeing witnesses. It's very important what evidence can be admitted into the case. So you guys know, who are experienced court watchers, that pre-trial is very interesting and it lays the foundation for the trial.
There's other dates, but that's not really relevant. The jury select.
Let me just say this. So Dem Folks says the case I served on the jury selection was 1 hour. And we were hearing the case before lunch. It ran about 3 to 4 days. It starts immediately. When they say trial starts October 6th, that's the trial. Part of selecting the jury is part of the trial. So as soon as it's done, soon as you have the people sworn in, and congratulations, you are sitting to do one of the most important things you will be asked to do as a citizen of the United States, blah, blah, blah. Girl, immediately, okay? But everybody doesn't know how court works, so it's no tea, no shade. At the end of the day, everybody doesn't know how this thing works. But the wonderful thing about being a layperson and having access to this type of information that we have at our fingertips on our computer screens is that we can learn the judicial process. I think a lot of people don't know certain things about how I don't know everything. I may know a little bit more because I watch this and I do this now on YouTube, but at the end of the day, the more you educate yourself even just a little bit about the process, the more it makes sense when you're following these cases.
Action will be October 6th, and then shortly after that is when the trial will begin. So probably within maybe a 2-week, maybe 3-week time span is when the trial will begin.
So we know that. I've seen Mark's podcast before. I think Mark does a great job in doing what he does. Like I said, I feel like since this thing happened, he got a little bit off his square. At the end of the day, this is just my opinion, and you're welcome to call up and give yours. I'll drop the link. I think that he got way too involved in this matter, and maybe he's just taking a step back to get himself back centered into his managing his podcast, his business, and what he got going on, because it's obvious he got deeper and very involved with this situation, and clearly there was an issue. When you're getting called by the police department to come downtown and they're telling you to back up and cool off and don't do this and don't do that, most of us don't have the police summoning us down to their office to tell us what to do and what not to do, right? So at the end of the day, it doesn't have any effect on what he does as a podcaster. I actually think he does a great job, and I found his information, like all of his podcasts leading up to this, he did a great job. That's why he's in the position he's in right now. I feel like he needs to not be so angry about like this visibility. I feel like he's taking it the wrong way. I feel like they may be a little overwhelmed by a lot of this attention, but he's getting the attention he's getting because he did a really great job at laying out this story. I don't think anyone can really take that away. A lot of what we know about this story is credited to Mark, period. Absolutely. But I do think he got too involved. If you get really involved with someone and it's behind the scenes, fine. But it's like he let it intermingle with what he was doing on his podcast. And look, that's on him. That's his business. I'm just from the outside looking and seeing. It seems a little awkward. Roxy said she was distant from the family when this all started. Now she supposedly has all this info. I don't know what she meant by that. Her mom was in town. Her mom and Annette were very cool. Kenya says that she would hang out with Annette. They had a great relationship. Roxy was living in Texas, just like, let's say you're from Michigan and you live in Houston. Maybe you get home a couple of times a year. It doesn't mean that you don't love everybody, you're not cool with everybody. You just living your own life now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go as far as infamous as that person. I don't even want to inject her name into this, but it's giving. And he said it himself the day after they went live at Marquita apartment with the boyfriend. He said that he definitely did some things he should not have done. He definitely did crossed over into some things that probably were some things that he should not have done. If you watch his podcast a couple of days after the incident at Marquita's apartment, he says it for himself. So, I'm giving my opinion, but Sir said it himself. He comes off a little angry, Rhonda. I agree with you. Like, I think he's a little, just listen to what he says about the judicial process and that he hopes that like no more information comes out. It's just too much. If he can't stand it, then maybe he does need to pivot off and away from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. But you know, hold on a second, guys. Let me let this play.
And there are also 40 new witnesses.
Damn.
Just for Naziah's case alone. This is not for all of the other cases. There's 2 new cases that he has. So pounding the pavement, screaming, crying, yelling, losing sleep. It seems like it's all worth it to hear the number 40 and to hear that there are 2 new victims that have come forward and spoken up. That's what makes it all worth it, and that lets me know that, you know, justice is slowly but surely prevailing, and you know, it'll get here soon. So that is what
40 new witnesses though. Like what?
40 new witnesses, yeah, 40. So, and that's just witness eyes alone. So that lets you know right there. And it's gonna probably take about 3 to 4 weeks. The trial is probably gonna be about 3 to 4 weeks. So yeah, so all in total, that is 62 witnesses. 62. So between the 22 witnesses that we had in the preliminary and the 40 new witnesses, there's 62 witnesses for this case so far. So if we heard all of what we heard in the preliminary with 22 people in 4 days, I can only imagine what we are about to hear in 3 to 4 weeks with 40 people.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope that they don't publicize the details of it like they did in Naziah, because that is just gonna enrage the public all over again.
Yeah.
Right, and it's gonna cause even more people to find out about the case, more people to tap in and try to insert their narrative, spin their narrative around into what they think is the truth, and all of this other shit, man. We're gonna have a whole nother generation of motherfuckers coming out here searching in fields and all of this other shit. Like, I hope they just keep that shit and let us know what the verdict is when it's time to let us know what the verdict is.
Yeah. I just want people to be patient, right? People are, oh, well, why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? I would rather them take their
Right. He doesn't want people to know the judicial process. There are people actually out here who support Jarvis, right? The reason why the courtrooms are open, the reason why they're on YouTube, the reason why information is available on the clerk of court's website is because they need to keep the process transparent. People don't need to just be running around with blind eyes and not seeing what is actually going on. If this gentleman has decided, okay, I've done my part, but I'm not into the court watching, I don't want to see the judicial process, that's on you. But people do want to know that it's a fair process, period, and that justice has been served. And let me just clear this up too. Just because we saw on the Ernest Williams, right? We looked at the witness list. Witness list at one point was 99 from the prosecutors. They don't necessarily call 99 people. They may have 40 people on the witness list at this moment. That doesn't mean everyone's going to get called. Even if they did call everyone and you've got 60 witnesses and they're running through people coming through, at the end of the day, you have a murder case with no body. Okay? So they have to go above and beyond without shadow of a doubt to really paint the picture for a jury to be able to commit a man to life in prison on some circumstantial evidence beyond a shadow of a doubt. So yes, they absolutely have to bring it, because if they don't, then you could have somebody potentially either a mistrial or acquitted of something that really is guilty, right? So it's very important that Yeah, 40 witnesses. Yeah, 50 witnesses, 60 witnesses. You have no body.
Their time and go through everything with a fine tooth comb, because it could be one detail that is missed to where a whole case can be just thrown out. You know what I'm saying? If the glove didn't fit, you must have quit. Well, we're trying to make sure that the glove fit. Okay. So I want you guys to be patient. We all are on edge. We all are walking on eggshells. We all want to know, what's happening, but this takes time. This is not a simple case. We don't have a body. You know what I'm saying? We and it's been a year and 4 months. You know what I'm saying? So let it take its time. Let it run its course. Let the justice system, make due process and let it do its work. Let's stop assuming. Let's stop speculating. Let's stop coming up with assumptions and twisting things, left and right and up and down. You know what I'm saying? Because it's damn the family. Damn it being disrespectful to the family. It's just disrespectful to Neziah. And if you say that you care about Neziah the way that you care about her, stop it.
Okay, so why doesn't she take her own advice? Like, this is my thing. Just look, if she wants to go on Instagram Live or Facebook Live or TikTok and talk about the case, people who are interested in following this case are going to show up. Period. That's just it. You can't sit up here and go hit the go live and expect people to not show up. If that's the case, if you want to be live and talk to people face to face, that's what FaceTime is for. That's what Google Meetup is for. When you hit the go live button, that means you want us to show up. Okay? That means you want us to show up, and you know that this is an active case that has gotten national attention and people are listening. And we're going to talk about it. People have a right to have their minds about how they feel about Roxy. They got a right to feel how they feel about Jernell and Kiwana. They got a right to have an opinion on the delivery of this information, who's full of shit, who's not, who you're rocking with. If you want to be middle of the road, for me, in this, I don't care. People, we're grown. Okay? But at the end of the day, unless you know Roxy, Kiwana, and Jernell, baby, everybody is just giving an opinion, and that's it. Not be feeling some type of way about someone else's opinion is not how we vibe around here. You should feel nothing about how someone else's opinion. Okay? So if someone feels some type of way about something and you don't feel that way, that's okay. Because nobody's going to get on anyone else about them feeling like that. Does that make sense? So someone feels a way about something, okay. And that's it. That's all. Roxy comes off as messy. I feel like, and this is probably the third time I'm saying this, Jernell and Kiwana do not come off as messy. The whole entire situation is messy, period. And when Roxy comes on here and says that certain things are disrespectful to Neziah, having a conversation regarding like how she opened up this conversation tonight, and then when Mark chimes in and she says, same shit, different toilet, another hoe, that is disrespectful. Because no matter how you feel about Kiwana and Jernell at this moment, if you know that Neziah loved these people, she loved Jernell, she loved Kiwana, she would be sad to know, then have some respect for the 13-year-old. Have some respect for the 14-year-old. Have some respect for the young lady that you say that you're out here advocating. And there is a way to speak your mind without trashing people, especially your own family. It's just not a good look.
Okay, just let it go. Because damn the family. But do it for her. Okay, if you care how you care, if Neziah means to you what she means to you, because Neziah has hit so many different people, and so many different people are emotionally bound to Neziah because they see themselves in her, or they know someone, or their daughter experienced it, or a child, or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Just do it out of respect for her to just let the court do what it do, but the justice system run its course, and just do it out of respect for Neziah. Not out of respect for the family, out of respect for Neziah.
So why doesn't Roxy stop reacting to Janelle and Kiwana defending themselves? If Roxy has had opportunity to defend herself, because she did get the business when I first started, getting into this case a couple months ago. Roxy spent a lot of time defending herself. She was definitely getting the business from a lot of people, right? And I mean, for me, I was like, okay, she's defending herself. I get it. She's the family spokesperson type thing. And I didn't hear anybody coming out and saying anything against Roxy defending herself. The minute Kiwana and Janelle came out to defend themselves, and those podcasts got some views. Is it the views? Like, what is it? Is it when they were on the news? I guess she didn't really care because it was just a news program and it's like buried in the internet. You just have to find the news stories where they showed up. But community advocates got a lot of views. A lot of people saw it. A lot of people got additional information, and she felt away. Then they were on Ratchet TV. She felt away. They've had back-to-back appearances on Spiritual Detective. Tootie reviewed it. Like, it's gotten a lot of views. Kiwana and Janelle have gotten their message out more, and sis is pissed. She's mad. If nobody were hearing Janelle and Kiwana give their statements and get some traction around defending themselves and them telling their story, if nobody was watching, maybe she wouldn't be reacting like this. But the minute Kiwana and Janelle open their mouth and that video gets some views, girl, she's over here pissed.
If you want justice for Neziah, cut the bullshit. For real.
Like I told people back in, what was it, probably about December or January, around the time that I did the episode about the trafficking in, or maybe it was the episode after that. Like, at this point, it ain't really too much more, to talk about.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people still to this day, I'm getting inboxes, messages and shit, asking what's the update, any update on Neziah. I mean, like ain't nothing changed since what we said the last time, 100 times y'all asked. We gotta wait until the court date, right? Ain't nobody giving out no secret information or no subscriber selling information on the subscriber.
Okay, Mark feels a way about people trashing him for activating his subscriber network, either on Patreon or Facebook or whatever. People felt like when he was starting to get a lot of viewers over on Facebook and YouTube, that maybe it changed some things. And I think he said forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, but people were under the impression he was going to give some exclusive content or something additional to a subscriber paywall, and people got pissed, right? People were upset with him. So, people often talk about when they're upset, the things that bother them the most. Roxy talking about the girls talking about her sexuality. Maybe people didn't know she was gay. At the end of the day, that's her business. Nobody really cares. In 2025, sis, live your life, be happy. You know what I'm saying? If it's not a secret, it's not a secret. You know what I mean? Whatever. Anyway, so, but maybe that's a component to the story. She didn't want people, she's not here on some telling about her sex life or telling about her relationship with who she's with or whatever, right? Mark is mad. People are talking about him having subscribers. They just seem very disgruntled to me. You know what I mean? That doesn't, like someone said, it doesn't make them bad people. I like Mark. I think Mark needs to get back to the business of doing his 7 Mile podcast, find interesting stories to tell us about. period. You know what I'm saying? I think that he has a really good thing going on over there, and he should get back to it as quickly as possible. As far as Roxy is concerned, Roxy needs to stop low-key pretending she's on some mission when really all she wants to do is defend herself and talk about Kiwana and Janelle. That's just what it gives to me. I could be wrong, and if I am, I don't have a problem coming back and saying, you know what? Okay, I had a chance to think about it, or I saw some this, that, and the third, and maybe she's not salty. Maybe she's just upset. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is what it is.
Right, I really hate that people that ran with that shit. I've been doing subscribers since Nasiah was 8 years old. How about that? Like this shit ain't just start with this case. But yeah, it's anything else we gotta wait to come out in the court. Okay, it ain't no more top secret information, ain't no more details, no more new angles. You know what I mean? No.
What Mark also has to realize, every day people are discovering this story. If you live in Kansas City and there's some sort of story that just came out in Kansas City about something, and a year later Law and Crime covers it, Court TV covers it, you guys been boots on the ground talking about it, wanting to get internet traction, and all of a sudden we start talking about it, the world, the United States, whatever, you can't be mad because we didn't know the next day. You can't be mad. And when you get on this internet and go live and talk about the story every day for a year, and all of a sudden it hits the courts, paperwork is starting to be available, people can understand the case, people read the police report. Wow, this is an interesting story. I want to talk about it. I want to tell it. I want to this. You can't be mad because the world didn't find out 2 days later. We don't live by you. Nobody was talking about it. The news, look, just yesterday in my city, there could have been 10 people that died. They might have talked about 2 on the news, right? And then tomorrow, guess what? 8 people die. 12 people get into a car accident. The news can only do as much as the news can do. We don't hear every story as soon as it happens, right? Everyone is not reaching out to their local favorite podcaster to tell their story, much less have that local favorite podcaster make it a pet project to talk about it every day for a year, and then become friends with the family spokesperson. Okay. And then, coincidentally went to school with the family spokesperson cousin, and then got developed a relationship, and now she's the family spokesperson's on the local favorite podcast person's media team. They got to understand what they did to get this attention. You can't be mad at attention when you sitting up here going live as recent as last night. I'm going to say one thing. I don't give a shit about Annette or Shannon, but I have not seen Annette or Shannon on the internet going live at all, unless I'm just blocked or something. I haven't seen Annette. I saw Annette getting some hamburgers or some trash thrown at her at the grocery store. I saw a random picture of Annette trying to get some groceries for them kids. I saw Shannon on the phone on a bed that was sitting on the floor with no box spring, trying to figure out why there were cameras in her face. I haven't seen the people who are the most egregious, the actual people who really need to be talked to, hit and go live. The number one person out here who can't stop talking is Roxy. And it's no shade to Roxy, but if Roxy wants, you can't have it both ways. Janelle and Kiwana have been getting dragged by Roxy, and they are just defending themselves. I don't put one over the other. The whole situation is very messy, but if Roxy would stop talking about Kiwana and Janelle, they would probably stop talking about her. And and both sides need to stop trying to figure out, was that a sling at me, or were you trying to be shady on this, or you talking about me on that? Don't even listen to what they talking about. Don't even look at their posts.
Stop sending us places to search. Okay, all of that.
Mark just comes off as very disgruntled. Sir, you made yourself front and center of this investigation. You put yourself into this to the point where people, let me tell you something. I'm sure there are plenty of other people podcasting and nobody emailing them for investigation tips. Okay. The fact that people are emailing you, sir, is because you got yourself involved in a way that they think that you're front and center into the investigation rather than just podcasting on the topic. You got yourself involved in the story deeply. That's why they're emailing you. Don't be mad.
All right. Well, thank you for your input.
Most definitely.
I will see.
All right. I'm out of here, Rock.
All right, later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to be honest. Mark could have saved that. He got his own platform. He really didn't need. Let me see what. Hold on a second. Let's see what happened. He went live yesterday. He might not have even talked about it. It's let me see. I feel like I saw a post last night. Let's see. Okay, let's see what happened over here. Geez, 3 hours. Oh my God. I don't even know if he talked about it or not, just to be honest. Let's see.
Have now, since we have removed YouTube from the scenario. And why don't we give some people the time to get in here?
Oh, if his thing was lagging or what?
No, that's no. Mm-mm. I mean, there's some things about Trump that I support. There's some things that
Okay.
are not, or not, or how much on a personal level.
But anything, I'm serious about this.
Okay, so maybe they were not. Look, I wouldn't have talked about it either, just to be honest. So if he did not talk about it last night, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. We didn't click around enough to see. Girl, all I got to hear about is Donna Trump. And last night I laughed so hard, guys. Let me just tell you something funny. Shamar, they had Shamar. Shamar was talking to the president via internet, running his mouth, and said, "Let me tell you about Donna Trump. I died." Shamar is so silly. The whole storyline about Kiwana, not sure of the spell. I think you got it right. Trying to push up on Mark made me give Roxy a side eye. Look, let me tell you something. This is what I'm gonna say. I agree. This is the deal. First of all, you don't want people talking about your sexuality or whatever. It should not be. Look, the more we stop keeping secrets, the less stigma we'll see around what people do, um, and who they have relationships with. Okay, at the end of the day, right? That's number one. Roxy shouldn't feel any type of way about what she's doing or not doing as an adult. Yeah, maybe you don't want people talking about your relationships, but that's really not a secret in 2025, right? Okay, that being said, Kiwana is a grown ass woman, and I'm assuming, like she said, she was single at the time. Mark was single at the time. Two single people talking is not a big deal. If Kiwana was trying to shoot her shot, that's her business. She's grown. And the fact that he, as a man, is not a gentleman, that if that actually happened, to not be gossiping, because the only way Roxy would have found out was on some bitchness, right? Some male bitchness. That is ridiculous. Okay. So Kiwana said it never happened. And I have, I'm sorry, I'm just not invested enough to believe it or not believe it. She says it didn't happen. He told some story to Roxy where Roxy felt like it was cute to repeat it. If Roxy, you don't want people dragging your obvious situations out here that you might not want people to know about, then you don't do the same thing. Treat others how you want to be treated. I don't think that Kiwana or Janelle would have talked about what Roxy got going on had they not tried to clown her for being a grown ass woman. Okay. That's what they, yes. Cousins of different, levels. Like, girl, it's very multi-generational family, crossing generational lines, but similar age groups. So you've got aunties and cousins that could be 10 years apart type thing. So but yes, it's kind of confusing because it's not like your traditional kind of age gaps. So you probably have like way older and way younger, but at the end of the day, Kiwana, Annette is Kiwana's aunt, and Jernelle is Annette's sister. They have the same mister, they have the same father, but they have different mothers. And most of these people we are seeing are kinfolk from the mother side of things. So Jernelle is actually not necessary. So let's just say it like this, and I'm just speculating because when I heard this, I was like, oh, well, maybe that explains why Jernelle said um, Roxy is not family or not kin to her, because she's not. If Roxy is related on Annette's mother's side and Jernelle is related to Annette through her dad, she is not related to any of those people. Her, like Kiwana and Jernelle, have a kinship with each other based on love and probably family reunions and stuff like that, but they're not necessarily blood related, but they're close, right? But I don't know how that rumor got started that Roxy wasn't family, but she is a cousin. She is a cousin. She is the daughter of Annette's first cousin. So Kenya is Annette's first cousin, and Roxy is Kenya's daughter. But understand Jernelle is related from another side of Annette's family. If you look at Annette as the central person, Jernelle comes from the father's side. All of everybody else comes from Annette's mother's side, right? Am I telling it? Mouth closed, or just, ew, there's Jarvis. What's he doing here? Why is he around the kids? I mean, somebody should have been calling just on the fact that she's a whole foster mother and shouldn't have had that man in the midst. Okay. And just the damn text messages that he was in the basement stealing baby's underwear should have had everybody cleared out the house after the preliminary exam. I just dropped a link if anybody wants to call in. I said, Farrah, are you eating breakfast? She said, I just finished. Girl, I'm so used to Farrah spoiling me, making me some breakfast. I'm like, okay, okay, ma'am. Maybe she's gonna make me something. Let me be quiet. She might. She's so sweet. Okay, let's see. Girl, she is a cousin. I mean, but still, they could show up at the extended family reunion. The children of so and so, so and so. You know what I mean? Like, girl, that Nick Cannon family reunion is going to be crazy about 20 years from now because he's got all kinds of kids with all kinds of women. All the women have other kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, and some of those people will call themselves kissing cousins. You got some men out here with some crazy. They're creating some very crazy family dynamic family trees here. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Okay. Um, Look, the main news, let me see. Let me pull it up just in case you didn't see it yesterday. Let's look at this real quick. I think this lady is absolutely stunning. I love her braids. This might be my next braid pattern. Miss Winfrey over there in Detroit. She is really beautiful. Hold on a second. Let me pull this up. Okay, sis. Okay. It's kind of giving it's giving a little Fulani, not really, but yeah, it's giving a little Fulani pattern. Very pretty. Okay, let's get into it. So if you missed this yesterday, which I'm sure you guys already have heard and know.
In Wayne County, where Jarvis Butts, the man charged with sexually assaulting and killing 13-year-old Neziah Harris, was back in court today. Our Jordan Burroughs was inside the courtroom and joins us now with a recap of today's proceedings.
Today at the Wayne County Criminal Justice Center, Judge Nicholas Hathaway laid out dates in the Jarvis Butts case. Butts is accused of murdering 13-year-old Neziah Harris last year. His jury selection is scheduled to start October 6th. Jarvis Butts was in court Friday to hear Judge Nicholas Hathaway decide key dates in his trial. The defense and prosecution both agreed on the dates as they await the full transcript to be typed out so they can read it over. Butts was previously in court January 17th for a hearing where he entered a not guilty plea. At that hearing, just like Friday's, Neziah Harris's family and friends were present. Butts, 42 years old, of Detroit, is charged with first-degree premeditations were present.
I mean, I didn't see Roxy. That looks like that guy Debo right there. I'm sure that is him. It's sad that Shannon and Annette, I'm sure they probably, I don't know that they would want to be there or not, but at the end of the day,
Neziah Harris's family and friends were present.
They're showing people I don't recognize.
Butts, 42 years old, of Detroit, is charged with first-degree premeditated murder, second-degree criminal sexual conduct, and child sexually abusive activity. Butts is also accused of having an inappropriate relationship with Neziah. She was last seen getting off her school bus at the corner of Cornwall and 3 Mile Drive in Detroit on January 9th of last year. Her body has not been found. As jury selection starts October 6th, the prosecution said it could call 40 or more witnesses to the stand, and the defense said it could call 10 or more. It's a trial that could take 3 to 4 weeks.
I'm hopeful that you're going to have that transcript here, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Obviously, with that trial date being in October, we have some time to work with. But I'd like to see you all again for final conference.
Today's calendar conference also laid out another key date, which includes the last conference. That will be on Friday, June 20th. Reporting from the Wayne County Criminal Justice Center, Jordan Burroughs, CBS News, Detroit.
Okay. So Mark had to come on the live stream. Mark didn't hear about that, and we heard about that all the way in North Carolina, New York, California. We saw that. I mean, girl, that video has 37,187 views 22 hours ago, but he had to get on Roxy's live to find out that information. I'm gonna just give that a big, that don't make no sense. I'm sorry. Like, Mark, if you wanted to just reach out and talk to your girl on live so people, like, I don't know what the purpose of that, and that's cool. You know what I mean? I feel like it's great to have good friends, right? But you guys publicly canceled y'all's friendship for, I guess, the reasons of Detroit Police Department. But me personally, I would have fact checked Roxy before I got on the live and allowed her to give information that is being said out here is not completely accurate, especially when you are a podcast that prides yourself on giving accurate community information. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with Roxy. We hadn't seen any receipts. All I'm going to say is I'm going to say it like I said it earlier. Roxy is saying that the kids have been displaced and the kids are in the care and custody of other family and relatives because they have been removed for reasons that would be obvious for all of us because there's been some fuckery going on in that household. And obviously there's issues. Would the kids being removed from Marquita, Shannon, and Annette be a shocker? Absolutely not. But we're going to need some receipts because Roxy is on some, it appears that Roxy is on some vendetta type payback when Jernell and Kiwana defend themselves And that's just what it's giving. So it's not that people feel there are people who feel a type of way about Roxy, but for me, I would just need to have some proof. Like, for instance, when Debo said Miss Jackson at CPS, it makes me on Monday want to find Miss Jackson and call her from a blog that is covering this story and say, "Hey, Miss Jackson, they mention you as the caseworker on, I'm sure you can't tell me anything, or, can you verify for the people? Because it's been alleged that Miss Ma'am and Grandma Ma'am are no longer in the care and custody of the kids that they had. Like, what's really going on?" Why Debo felt like he had to drop a name, I don't know, but we certainly picked it up. I heard Miss Jackson. Now, how many Miss Jacksons are at CPS? I don't know. Girl, there could be 5. Absolutely. I think the reason why these conversations are taking place is because people are very much disgusted by what happened, and people want to see a positive outcome for Neziah. I don't know that not talking about it is the solution, because that the conversation has already been started, and the family is, the family typically leads the way. You know how you see families say, "We're grieving at this time. We'd like to ask for our privacy during this time, and that you respect our privacy," and what I think that ship has sailed, unfortunately. But like I said, the main people who I noticed that are not talking is Annette and Shannon and the others. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm not gonna keep y'all. I appreciate y'all coming through this morning to talk about this and get caught up. I'm gonna see. I guess they said Janelle was in the chat over on another content creators live last night. I've dipped in over at Spiritual Detective. Um, I'm gonna go see what I can see in the chat. I know some, I don't know. I'm gonna go see what I can see, but I didn't want to have to go and click all in through that lady's live to see the chat if I didn't know where I was going or what I was looking at. So, anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm gonna come back because this is kind of a day that I got time, but I'm gonna close down this topic. So if you're new here, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate y'all so much. Make sure to set your notifications so that you can be notified every time I go live or post a video or anything like that. And that's it. That's all. Okay, guys, I will talk to you later. Have a wonderful Saturday, and I'll see you next time I go live. Bye.